What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. It is Friday, November 4th. Hope y'all are having a great Friday today. We're here, of course, to talk about Sunday's game between the Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. Big, pivotal game in the Miami Dolphins schedule for the season. They just traded on Tuesday. They just traded for Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson. If you haven't already, I made a reaction video from that. It's doing really good. Over 240 views, I believe, right now. So if you have not already, be sure to go ahead and check that out. That's going to be at the end of the video. All you have to do is it'll pop up in the last 20 seconds. All you have to do when you see it on the screen is click it, and it'll take you to that video immediately after this preview between the Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. But we got a lot to talk about. Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson are both going to play. They're both going to play on Sunday. We don't know the snap count. We don't know how much time they're going to be in there. McDaniel is playing a wait-and-see game. He's been saying it at the press conference. He says, you're going to have to find out Sunday how much time Chubb and Jeff Wilson are going to have on the football field. But I'm excited. I'm so excited for Sunday's game. This is the start of the second half of the season. The playoff run starts now. You want to make the playoffs, it starts right now. The first half of the season was over last week in Detroit when you beat the Lions. Good win. And you acquired Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson at the deadline. Huge moves. You won the trade deadline. You told the NFL, you're all in. If you want to go all in and you want to build your stock on the road to the playoffs, you got to beat teams like the Chicago Bears. This is a big game on Sunday in Chicago. I'm very excited. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about it. But if you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of Dolphins content coming up as we move in from November with the Bears this week. Next week we got the Browns, but we'll talk about that next week. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you have not already, be sure to go ahead and check out the post-game recap video from the Miami Dolphins against the Detroit Lions last week. And then also, be sure to go ahead and check out my reaction to the Miami Dolphins trading for defensive end Bradley Chubb and running back Jeff Wilson. It's all up on the Big Fight Fuel channel for you guys to check out right now. So, before we get into this game, let's go over some stats for the Dolphins. And actually, before we do that, the Bears have a different team now. They made 3 big trades at the trade deadline. I just thought it'd be a good piece to share since that's the team we're playing this week. They did trade away defensive end Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles, and they traded away linebacker Roquan Smith to the Baltimore Ravens. So the Miami Dolphins are going to catch a break and face the Ravens when they don't have Roquan Smith, and they're going to face the Bears when they just traded away Roquan Smith. So Miami catches a break when facing Roquan Smith and the Bears. A trade they did trade for wide receiver Chase Claypool. I actually think this is a really smart move for the Bears. You got to start looking forward to the future, and that roster, their wide receiver core is abysmal. We're going to talk about that when we get to the Dolphins offense against the Bears defense. Their wide receiver core sucks. So to add Chase Claypool, who now probably takes over as the top receiver, I think that's a fantastic move for the Bears. I really do. So let's get into it without any further ado. We're going to go over some offense, defense for both teams, and kind of get like a heads up of where they rank. So the Miami Dolphins, that for both teams' offenses, the Miami Dolphins have 306 passing yards a game. That is third in the NFL. And the Chicago Bears on offense have 150 passing yards per game, 150 and a half passing yards per game. That is dead last in the NFL. But then, you see how huge of a margin the Dolphins passing game is to the Bears passing game. Dolphins are third, Bears are dead last. Miami Dolphins rushing yards per game, 88 rushing yards per game. That is 28th in the NFL. Chicago Bears have 188 rushing yards per game. That is first in the NFL. Okay? That is first. I actually could have just went it this way. I made it so much difficult. But I apologize. I got this all mixed up. I apologize. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it Dolphins offense against Bears defense. So we'll do that first. We'll do Dolphins offense against the Bears defense. Overall, the Miami Dolphins have the 7th ranked offense in the NFL. They have they're 7th in yards per game. They have 380 yards per game, while the Chicago Bears have 344 yards per game. They allow 334 yards per game on defense. That is 16th. The Miami Dolphins have 306 passing yards per game. That is 3rd in the NFL. But the Bears defense, they only allow 198 passing yards per game. That is 3rd in the NFL. So their secondary is pretty good, and they've improved from last year. You know, they got Eddie Jackson and Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, the rookie, Jaquan Brisker, the rookie safety. You know, the Bears have a solid secondary over there in Chicago. But we'll see. And the only reason, you know, someone said the only reason that the Bears passing yards per game on the defense is so low is because teams run the ball on them all the time. And when we look at this, the Miami Dolphins are 28th in rushing, 188 yards per game. The Bears' rush defense gives up 156 yards per game. That is 31st in the NFL. And folks, without Robert Quinn, without Roquan Smith, they're not improving on the front 7 of the defense. They got worse, okay? They got worse on their defense at the trade deadline. So let's talk about it. Dolphins offense against the Bears defense. The Dolphins offense was tremendous against the Detroit Lions, besides that one fumble from Braylon Sanders, okay? They were tremendous last Sunday against the Detroit Lions, as they should be, because the Lions defense sucks, and they're one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Now, Jeff Wilson, I don't know how many snaps Jeff Wilson is going to get on Sunday. I do think we will see him for sure in the game against the Bears. He's gonna get carries. He's gonna get catches. He's a great pass back too. The main difference, I know it's gonna sound shocking, the main difference between him and Chase Edmonds couldn't catch the ball. Jeff Wilson, you watch highlights. That man can catch the ball. That man is fast too. Jeff Wilson is really fast. So I am with these two guys and the Bears looking to the Bears defense looking worse against they're looking worse without Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith now that they're on new teams. I am going to be looking for Miami to run the ball a little bit more. They just lost their left guard, Liam Eichenberg, who tore his MCL. He's on IR. He's going to miss at least 4 games. And the Dolphins have plugged in Robert Jones at left guard, which I honestly think is not a big deal. I think they're just going to plug him in here very nicely, and he's going to be on the same side as Teron Armstead. As long as he blocks, as long as he's good at blocking, I think we'll be fine with that. With Robert Jones at left guard, so it's looking like Armstead, Jones, Connor Williams at center, Robert Hunt at right guard, and Austin Jackson activated off IR this week. But more than likely, Mike McDaniel says he's not going to play against the Bears. So in goes Brandon Shell again, which he's been playing really good, man, and I hope he keeps it up this week. But one thing is for sure, when Austin Jackson comes back, Brandon Shell is your 6th man off the bench. He's proved that he can that he's good enough for this offensive line. He played good against Pittsburgh. He played good last week against the Lions. If Austin Jackson or Teron Armstead were to go down with injuries again, you get Shell right in there at left tackle or right tackle. So he's been playing really good since Austin Jackson's been out, and he replaced Greg Little. So shout out to Brandon Shell. But I'm going to be looking for the Dolphins to run the ball a lot more with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson. The Bears, I mean, you saw what Tony Pollard did last week against the Bears. That man absolutely torched the Bears front 7. 14 carries, 131 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. He had a long of 54 yards, and the Bears allowed 29 rushes for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys. I want to see the Miami Dolphins run the ball on this Bears defense. Now, for the Bears secondary, it's been pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I watched a lot of Bears games this year. They were on TV, prime time, I think 3 times so far. So I've seen a decent amount of Bears football against Green Bay, against the Commanders, and against the Patriots. And especially against the Patriots, they were really good. Okay, they were really good. Jaquan Brisker with a nice interception. That Bears secondary was really good against the Patriots on that Monday night game. But they're going to have a test. They're going to have a test, a big test, against the best wide receiver duo in the NFL in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. We're going to have to see how they play with coming off of big games last week against the Lions. Can they carry that over against the Chicago Bears? I'm very excited to see, man. It's going to be an exciting matchup, Like I said earlier, the Bears have some very good players over there at their secondary. Eddie Jackson, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker. Bears have a good secondary, man. They have a really good secondary. So, but it's going to be a challenge when they go up against Tyreek and Waddle, and I'm excited to see how those guys perform against a very underrated Bears secondary. But I do think the Dolphins are going to have I do think the Dolphins should put up points against this Bears defense. Again, they didn't get better at the trade deadline. They got worse on the defensive side of the football. They lost their 2 best players. So we should take advantage. And like I said, I'm going to be looking for Mike McDaniel to open up the run game more with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson. Let's talk about the Dolphins defense against the Chicago Bears offense. I brung this up when I messed up stats. I wanted to do it in a particular order. The Dolphins ranked 23rd in the NFL with 362 yards per game given up on the defensive side, while the Chicago Bears ranked 27th with 315 yards given up per game. The Dolphins' passing defense is 26th, giving up. I'm sorry. That's the Bears. Oh, Jesus God. Dolphins defense against the Bears offense. Let's do this again. Jeez, I'm all over the place. The Dolphins defense is ranked 23rd, with 362 yards given up per game. The Bears offense is ranked 27th with 315 yards a game. Okay? The Dolphins passing game, the Dolphins pass defense is ranked 26th, giving up 275 passing yards per game to quarterbacks that we've faced so far. However, Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears on offense are ranked dead last in the passing game with 150 passing yards per game. Dead last. Justin Fields cannot throw the ball. Justin Fields sucks under pressure. We're going to get to that. Finally, the Miami Dolphins run defense is ranked 6th in the NFL, which is very good, giving up 100 yards per game. However, the Chicago Bears run offense, their run game, 188 yards per game. Folks, that is ranked 1st in the NFL. That is going to be a huge test for this Dolphins defense to stop the run against the Chicago Bears run game, who eats, sleeps, and breathes running the football. Okay? That's their offense, running the football. If they can't run the football, they're screwed. They are screwed. Talk about Justin Fields for a moment. Second year, sophomore quarterback. I'm actually a Justin Fields guy. I think Justin Fields is playing a lot better than he did last year so far. His legs, or his Justin Fields running the ball is ridiculous. He's very good at, making chicken shit out of chicken salad, with being able to get out the pocket, find open room, and run the ball for 20 yards. He's very good at that. Being able to create runs. Justin Fields is very good, and like I said with the Chase Claypool trade, very good deal for Chicago because their wide receiver core sucks. Now, Justin Fields throwing the ball, if you eliminate his run game and you get after him, which, by the way, now having Bradley Chubb on the defensive line should help. That should help stop the run game of Justin Fields. We'll see what happens, but 32nd in the pass game. If you put the game in Justin Fields' hands, I think we're going to win this game. I think this game is going to depend on the Bears and how they're running the ball. They have a dangerous 1-2 combination with David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, which I think, honestly, Khalil Herbert's taken over as running back number 1 for the Chicago Bears. Okay, David Montgomery is a power back. David Montgomery is a good pass blocker to give Justin Fields more time. Khalil Herbert is more aggressive, and he gets more yards on his runs than David Montgomery does. That dude is a beast. So the Dolphins' run defense is going to have a big task against Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery, and Justin Fields running the ball. So if we could stop the run game and Justin Fields isn't running the ball as much, and we're going to make Justin Fields throw the ball, get pressure, he's going to make bad passes, and and he's going to get intercepted, hopefully. But the Bears wide receivers, I mean, they stink. They stink. The Dolphins secondary, I know, stinks. They have Xavier Howard, who hasn't gotten an interception all season. He's just not playing like Xavier Howard. You got Noah Benogany, Kader Kohu, Keon Crossan. Every week I'm worried about these guys going up against the opponent's wide receivers because they just, they're not the best. They're not great. This Dolphins secondary is Swiss cheese. But if there's any week that I'm not nervous about the secondary, it's this week. Bears receivers just cannot get open. And I saw that against the Commanders. Up until they got Chase Claypool, Justin Fields, really all he's throwing to is Darnell Mooney. And that's his only real weapon on the wide receiver before Chase Claypool came. Now they're going to have Claypool. They got two options. Personally, Chase Claypool's a better option to me than Darnell Mooney. But they got N'Keal Harry, Velus Jones, Darnell Mooney, Dante Pettis, Equidemius St. Brown. These aren't good receivers. They stink. They only got two good receivers in Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney. And here's another thing too. Really quickly. That Thursday night, we're going to go back a little bit. That Thursday night game between the Washington Commanders and the Bears. The Bears only put up 7 points. The Commanders, Justin Fields was getting destroyed in the backfield all day long. He would have trouble getting up. He would struggle. He would get the pressure be against him. He's running all around the field. Lucky to get rushing yards. You want to know why that happened? Because the Washington Commanders got pressure on Justin Fields. That's what the Dolphins need to do now with Bradley Chubb, Ogba, Melvin Ingram, Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, who popped up on the injury report with a quad injury. He's questionable now. I do have hope that he'll play. I do think he'll play. Best prayers for that. That hope that Jalen Phillips is going to play on Sunday. But hey, man, your run to the playoffs starts here. You had a good first half of the season, 5-3. A lot of teams would want to be in the position that the Dolphins are in right now, 5-3. Second wild card spot right now behind the Jets, who play the Buffalo Bills this weekend. We're in a good spot, I think. And we've got a big game. Chicago, 3-5. Chicago, underrated team. This is a big, big game on Sunday. You want to make a run to the playoffs? You want teams to know that you're legit? You got to beat teams like the Chicago Bears. Okay? You got to go into Soldier Field on Sunday. The weather's supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be sunny and like 62 degrees. You got to get that W. You got to go there and get the W. So, that's all I got. That's all I got. I'll be back here Sunday, of course, for the post-game recap. Miami Dolphins, Chicago Bears, about an hour after the game. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Comment down below if you're a Dolphins or a Bears fan. What are your thoughts on the game? How do you think the game's going to go? Who do you think is going to win? All that stuff. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me on the channel. And follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Colin_Joseph. Guys, I'm out of here. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. We out. Peace!